tussle between the Philippines and China over the South China Sea is not something new. In the latest, a Chinese Coast Guard ship and an accompanying vessel rammed a Philippines Coast Guard ship and military-run supply boat off a contested shoal. To talk more on the current situation at the disputed South China Sea, joining us live on this live discussion from Singapore is Chong Shan Yan from the National University of Singapore. Thanks very much for taking our time and joining us on WION.
Thanks for having me on.
Right, and Mr. Chong, after the collision between a Chinese Coast Guard and the Philippine Coast Guard ship, Manila has now summoned Beijing's envoy. How concerning is this?
Well, I'm glad that they are resorting to diplomatic efforts rather than trying to escalate at sea. I think this is probably a step that is predictable that the Philippine side will take. I think the Beijing side will probably respond angrily through their diplomatic channels. Perhaps they'll try to summon the Philippines envoy as well. I mean, we've also seen the statements earlier from the two sides, the Coast Guard on the Philippine side and the Coast Guard on the Chinese side, both, of course, blaming the other and charging the other for unsafe action. Although it is clear that the Chinese vessels are much bigger and seem far more capable than the Philippine ones. And the Philippine ones, I think, appear to be acting far more cautiously, understandable given their smaller size.
Right, Chong, I would just come to the point you made there that Manila has clearly said that it is making full use of the diplomatic process available to them. Now, this collision between the two government vessels of Philippines and China is unprecedented. But the Department of Foreign Affairs says that they opted not to use the direct hotline between Manila and Beijing.
Right. So, I mean, this collision is I guess, new for the Philippines and the PRC for this round. It's not new. It's happened before. It's happened before with other states, notably between Vietnam and the PRC. This sort of non-use of military hotlines, there's some reason behind it. So in other instances where there have been incidents where the collisions or others, like with the Japanese Coast Guard and the PRC troll, I mean, these hotlines have proven to be of some but limited use in the sense that sometimes they don't get picked up, or the people who are picking up on the PRC side are not empowered to make any decisions. So it may be more useful to work through the diplomatic route to ensure that some political decision maker has the issue on their desk and is able to make some sort of decision.
Right, Mr. Chong, taking a few steps back, talk to us about why did this dispute arise in the first place and what is the importance of South China Sea?
So the dispute is a pretty old one. I mean, the PRC claims, they call it historical claims, but the sort of current version of it really goes back to the old Republic of China, sort of drawing up of 11 dash lines in the South China Sea. Neither the ROC nor the PRC have really defined what these lines are or where the coordinates are. There was an effort by the Philippines in the 20-teens to arbitrate the nature of the features in order to figure out what the different sides can claim or not, and it does not appear that the arbitral tribunal ruling is that the features can't generate the sorts of things that the PRC would like to have. So that's the genesis of the whole dispute. The PRC with more capabilities have been more willing to push forward on their claims than before, which is what we're seeing in these recent years.
Last question to you. In your opinion, how can this dispute be resolved? We've seen that the recent collision of the ships is not recent. It has happened in the past as well. China has been aggressively showing its dominance in the South China Sea.
So I don't think the dispute can be resolved at any time soon, especially since the different sides are not willing to take the issue to third-party arbitration, which is the usual route for these things to get resolved peacefully, or else the different sides are not negotiating. What we can hope for, though, is some discussion about ways to manage the dispute and to manage them peacefully until such time a resolution can be found. That's part of the thinking behind behind the code of conduct negotiations at ASEAN, but that too is not going very far because of questions about how much different parties are being bound, about whether the PRC side, being the much more powerful actor, is willing to commit to restraining itself. So unfortunately, I don't think there's an easy way out anytime soon. Perhaps what the Philippines is doing is trying to put a position to the PRC to demonstrate that further escalation is very dangerous, and hope that Beijing will understand and move back and use negotiations rather than its greater capabilities.
Absolutely, Mr. Chong. Thanks for joining us from WION and sharing your insights with us on this story.
Thank you.